Hi, everybody. Let's try this with a better microphone this time, shall we? I'm Fran Bluegal, and I'm welcoming you to my knitting podcast. Today, I want to talk about time management and knitting and finding more time to knit, and particularly some tips and tricks that I found to simplify my life so that I have more time to knit because knitting is extraordinarily important to me, as I'm sure it is to you, and we need to find more time to do it. Um, First up, I'll talk about my next project. I do a pair of socks every month. In July, I knit two pair of socks because we had sock week and we had a couple of knit alongs, and so I finished two pairs of socks. You saw those in previous episodes. Next month, and I'm recording this on the 31st of July, so I can't cast on the August uh, socks until tomorrow. But the August theme for the Grocery Girls is basket weave socks. And so I'm going to knit from the Box of Socks pattern uh, collection. This is the double basket socks. And because it's a busy pattern and a complicated looking pattern, I'm going to knit it in plain yarn. I think I'm going to knit it in purple stroll. I am pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. I may change my mind between now and tomorrow morning, but I think this is what I'm going to do. This pattern definitely, and I think I'm going to use Knit Pick Stroll fingering weight in the color Duchess Heather, which is a nice maroon, red, purple. So that's the sock for next month. I'm also going to try to work on a sweater to take on my cruise, which I'm going on a cruise with Grocery Girls September 14th, and I am crawling out of my skin with excitement. I feel like I've won the lottery that I was able to do this. Um, it's just amazing that I'm going to be able to go to this. I haven't traveled since my children were very small, and so this is such a gift, and it's a gift from my family to me, and some money that I came into, and I'm just over the moon with excitement to be able to go on this knitting cruise. 1 week knitting cruise. And we'll talk about that more later. So let's talk about organizing your life so that you can knit more and how I organize my life so I can knit more. One way that some people approach time management and life management is to use a life wheel. So this is a my life wheel that I think a guy put together because uh, all of the emphasis is on recreation fun, and there's nothing on here about housekeeping or cleaning house or maintaining a domicile. Maybe that's sexist of me, but I think this is a guy. Um, in any event, dividing your life up into segments of personal growth, spiritual, business, career, studies, finance, wealth, health, fitness, social friends, family, romance, love, recreation, fun, parenting. And did I say personal growth? That's okay. They're all there. And you fill out a quiz or do a time management, time survey of how you spend your time or how you emphasize success, however it is. Chart it on the wheel, and you have an idea of where your life is out of balance. And this line indicates, okay, this person has spent lots of energy on fun and maybe not so much energy on family, and maybe wants to enhance that part of their life in order to have more emphasis on family. Okay. It's a way to graphically illustrate where your life is going and whether you have areas where you would like to improve. All right. I would like to suggest another life wheel, and this is knitting and not knitting. And it's a real simple wheel. Divide your life. Now, I happen to have this split in half, which is pretty much not how my life goes. My life is much more devoted to knitting than this. Because I do a knitting podcast, and most of my web browsing is about knitting. Certainly, my Instagram is about knitting. Uh, my job is podcasting about politics and writing and editing about politics, but in terms of my leisure time and time that I spend doing what I want to do, it's knitting. And so I have used this as a guideline for my life for quite some time, over a decade. And dividing it between knitting and not knitting is a way to quiet what the Buddhists call monkey mind, because catastrophizing is not knitting. Um, Worrying about what other people think of me is not knitting. There's a lot of mental energy that we spend that can better be used sitting down and with two sticks and a string making something. So I have found that's very helpful in terms of when I get distracted, when I'm worried about something, when I'm panicking or just wasting time. That's not knitting. So I just offer that as a guideline for anyone else who might find that helpful, knitting and not knitting. Then there are other ways that I have found to simplify my life um, that really help me find more time to knit and less time with other things that I'm not as interested in as knitting. There is a woman who she used to do a podcast. She stopped doing her podcast. Her name is Courtney Carver. She's written a book. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. I'm going to hold this close so that I can get it in the camera there. Project 333. Her website is Be More with Less. And she does closet organization. And her Project 333 is find a way to get your wardrobe and your jewelry and your underwear and etc. down to 33 items. And she doesn't suggest that you throw everything else away, but that you box it up. And that for a season, for 3 months, you spend your time wearing a closet that has 33 items in it. Her one exception is exercise clothes that you actually use for exercising. Sweatpants that you hang around in count as one of the 33. Sweatpants that you only take to the gym and exercise in count extra. And I have not exactly done the reducing things to 33, but I have reduced quite a bit. And I do go through processes. The other gamifying thing she does is get rid of 33 things. And I've done that more than once, both with my yarn stash and with my clothes. And that's, get a garbage bag and go for 33 things. That's a trick that a lot of organizers have used to get things quickly removed that you're not going to need. Another way with closet organization that I've found helpful that I learned when I was student teaching is the black pants trick, which is black pants, any variety of tops and jackets that go with black pants, and you wear that every day. And I have, a couple pairs of jeans, and everything else in my wardrobe goes with black pants. And no one notices that I'm wearing black pants all the time. And for someone that has to work in an office, the black pants trick is absolutely fantastic because a jacket, a scarf, different earrings, whatever you have, people don't notice that you're wearing black pants. And so that makes it easier to get dressed, easier to organize your closet. And, like I said, I have a pair of jeans or two that I wear for casual, but most of the time I'm wearing black pants to church. I wear black pants to funerals, of course. I wear black pants out to dinner. It just makes life easier. Another thing that I did this year that I have found so helpful, I went to Joann Fabrics and I bought a bead box for my earrings. And this bead box, and it's going to make a lot of noise, but it is sealed up. The lid goes flush against the sides of these compartments so that the beads, this is for beading, the beads won't fall out. It has a little hook if I wanted to hang this on the wall, although I don't think this is particularly strong. I'm sure this is for sales purposes. But my earrings are in these 18 compartments, and I have a couple of them where I put like earrings together, but mostly it's one pair of earrings per compartment. And man, this has changed my life in terms of organization for jewelry. Just having a box uh, on my nightstand, I can set it up. I have it set up like this on its edge behind, my moisturizer and so forth, sort of sitting up there. But man, now I can find my earrings and wear them more often. Uh, and this box was like $4, and it it might help you. It helped me declutter my earring stash down to a little over 18 pair, which is entirely more than I need. Um, Another thing that I have done for years to simplify my life has to do with purses and shoes. And shoes are black shoes. That's it. Black shoes. Nobody looks at my shoes. I'm not looking. I don't wear heels. I can't wear heels. I wear black shoes. Walking shoes are black. My flats are black. Just black shoes. Um, Purses. I have one purse, and this is actually the second of two purses that I own. And the only reason I own this one, the purse that I'm using right now is exactly this purse, but the company that makes them was discontinuing them and putting them out on clearance. So I bought a second one and put it in my closet for when the one I'm using right now. And I know that I know where the weak spot is. It's right here. The leather wears down right here. Um, I've had two of these purses before these two of this exact same purse. Um, Clearly, I love it. And also, it's my purse. It's just, I don't have evening purses. I don't have summer purses. I don't have winter purses. I have a purse. One purse. And this one has RFID technology in it to protect, your credit cards or whatever. It has credit card slots in it and pen slots. And, I feel like I'm selling this to you, and I'm so sorry that it's Levenger. Levenger doesn't make these anymore. Levenger should start making this one again. Um, but everything's secure. It's a crossbody. It has a very flexible strap. You can adjust it to whatever length. One purse to rule them all is how I live. And just having one purse simplifies my life incredibly. And I really appreciate that. So that's the backup purse for the purse that I use 12 months out of the year all the time. And then makeup. And, I'm 61 years old. So I'm not really trying to impress anybody or look glamorous all the time or anything like that. But I have developed a routine with makeup that is 5 things. I used to do this with stuff in college too. I had a 5 things basket. 5 things are easy to remember. And in college, it was, I can still remember this: pen, watch, glasses, keys, meal book. And my meal book was, the coupons you used to go to the cafeteria. I had 5 things. I kept them in a basket by the door. I knew I couldn't leave the dorm room until I had those 5 things on me. And with makeup today, I'm the same. I'm 5 things: concealer, mascara, brow gel, and I can use, if I'm not using heavy duty mascara, I can double up the mascara for brow gel. Um, Lipstick and a little eyeshadow. And eyeshadow I always use a stick eyeshadow because it's easier. So 5 things. I went on a trip to Pittsburgh to see my dad. This was my makeup kit. 5 things. I also keep in my medicine cabinet next to my toothbrush a little pill bottle with 5 things. And some of these are travel sizes that came free with something else. Some of them are very old and whatever, but 5 things in this. This is one of those big pill bottles, and they all fit right on the medicine cabinet. And if I put these 5 things on, I have enough of a face on for me to greet my day. Um, and then in terms of skincare, what I have found, and your mileage may vary, but I have found with skincare that if I spend a little more than the rest of my budget for makeup would indicate, um, I tend to use it. I tend to use it and use it up. So I have found brands, and I'm not going to share brands in here, but I found brands that work for me. They're a little more expensive than I would generally spend on makeup, but because they're a little more expensive, I use them every day. Um, and I'm want to talk a little bit about branding anyway, because I think some of us go shopping and we're bombarded with choice, and being simply devoted to the same brand over and over again may seem a little boring, but it makes the shopping go a lot faster, and then you're done and you have more time to knit. So one of my rules of thumb for instance, cleaning materials is, was that brand around when my mom was cleaning house? Tide, Windex, Pledge, Murphy's Oil Soap, Comet, these really old brands. Now, I don't use too much Comet because I'm conscious of how much chlorine I'm using. There's people in my house have asthma, so I'm careful about that. But those kind of old brands have been around for decades because they work. And getting more complicated than that with your cleaning, for me, that's not a priority. And that's my other advice that my aunt gave to me when I started having children, which was lower your standards. She just said, "You have 3 kids, lower your standards." And I think lowering my keeping my standards at a level that's like, yeah, knitting's more important than a pristine house. Um, so yeah, I spend a little more on skincare than maybe other people might be comfortable with. But one of the funny stories, I brought this out about branding and skincare. My daughter, my youngest child, gave me a bottle of. Let's see if I can put this out here. The Ordinary. There we go. The Ordinary hyaluronic acid. Oh, mom, it's so great. It works really well. It's inexpensive. It's in a plain white label. The Abnormal Beauty Company. It's not doesn't have a fancy label. It's sold at Target for $8, and uh, it works. And I used it, and I like it, and that's fine. It's good. It's okay. Um, but the branding of this, The Ordinary in a plain white label, The Ordinary, right? It's just so ordinary. Um, this company was bought out this year by Estee Lauder for $1.7 billion. So there's only 13 makeup companies in the world, folks. Um, yeah, I found that amazing. I was doing a little research about that just to tickle my fancy. Estee Lauder owns Avita, Becca, Bobbi Brown, Bumble and Bumble, Clinique, Darphin, DKNY, Dr. Jart Plus, Glam Glow, La Mer, Lab Series, Le Labo, MAC, Michael Kors Beauty, Origins, Smashbox, Tom Ford Beauty, and Too Faced. 29 brands. If you want to break up monopolies, go Elizabeth Warren. But in the meantime, I'm just saying, you know, the the plain label, what was it that comedian said about that anti-capitalism dollar is a good dollar? Yeah, that's how Estee Lauder thinks. Yeah. Um. So that's it. It's just, this all of this is to the end of finding more time to knit, focusing on your art, finding ways to make less important stuff, uh, reducing uh, decision fatigue, making sure that your life is simpler so that you have more time to do the things that are important, like knit. Is there anything more important than knitting? There's not a lot. Um, and yes, family's important. my kids call me every day. I'm there for them. I have 3 cats. They take a lot of time. They take attention. I have a husband that I adore, and he takes some attention from time to time. Um, and so I have, but I have a pretty settled life in terms of where I'm at in my life. My kids are out of the house, good marriage, happy cats. It's time to knit. It's time to knit. And I hope you find time to knit this week. And I will see you next week. Thanks.